Heidi ho, everyone, and welcome aboard. Thank you, Angel. There appears to be a little bit of a clock issue, unless it's me. It seemed to stop. Let's hope your clock doesn't stop on you on this Tuesday, and I certainly hope it doesn't stop on me either. We've got a long way to go yet. It is Tuesday, as I say, and we have one day left. Well, we've got 2 trading days left. We've got today and tomorrow left in the jolly month of June, which, as I say, for some people, Australians in particular, that means the end of the financial year as well as the end of the month. That, depending on how you sit with that, is probably significant, I would think. Let's see if we can unravel that a little bit. But before we do, let's take a look and see if we've got a pound breakout trade today. And as we cast our eyes towards the pound US dollar, you'll see I've actually got an order on pound US dollar as a key reversal today. Now, it's kind of a little bit unusual. Well, this one, not so unusual because it does have a white body, so I'm happy to trade it. I would like to have seen a little bit more out of that, that bounce, but the candle is undeniable. And for that reason, I simply had to place an order there, and that has triggered in the not too distant past by the look of it. And we now await our fate on that. Of course, there are 2 ways to look at this, and well, really, there's one way to look at it as far as I'm concerned. Either you believe in the US dollar or you don't, and believe in the rally or you don't. And it's pretty much that simple as far as I'm concerned. It's very much a binary situation here for me, not just on pound US dollar, but on a lot of pairs. In fact, most pairs, because most of them are a derivative, if you like, of what happens with the US dollar. And I think we're still in that mode. Yes, we have NFE coming out on Friday. That may, of course, shake things up a little bit further. But you go with the flow. I don't know. I really don't know. It's take quick profits as far as I'm concerned if you get in the market. And let's see what happens throughout the week. Okay, should we take a breakout trade is the question. And last 40, wow, okay, where it's like somebody's died, and the polygraph, not polygraph, what do you call those things? ECG is actually going sideways. There's nothing happening here. Well, you wouldn't expect it on the weekly pivot because it's only one day in, but both daily pivots yesterday and today are very, very stable. That suggests to me that the market doesn't want to move too far away from this level. And when the daily pivot and the weekly pivot are sandwiched together as such, I think that is very much the case. Now, what I see here is a technical level, actually, that doesn't agree with my my order here, but there's certainly potential for this to become a false break of that support area, which is a trade line. I would be very, very tempted to place a long order above that on the hourly chart, but I don't see a breakout here really, because we're right at the bottom of the range. Yes, if it breaks short, then okay, it can work, but your stop loss is way up here, and I'm not sure how far this goes. Yeah, I've got my first take profit down here. I suppose it's there, but I'm not that keen to trade at that level, not on a small time frame anyway. I don't like trading that level on a big time frame like the daily that I have, but on a small time frame, I think the answer has to be no. What are we going to risk? We're going to risk, say, 85 pips plus, and potential first reward, or only reward, because that's the way we're trading it today, is DS2. And DS2 is a mere, by the time you get in the market there, 26 pips away with that, what does I say, 85 pip risk. It's just not there. So we need a tighter range than that. You know, that looks looks like something you might like to trade, but not this, because we've got to take profit at those horizontal levels or pivot levels, if you like. I see what happens, Angel. The clock stops when you put people in the room. How intricate a thing it is. Marvelous. Or not. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. You get the idea. We're counting down. All right. So we're counting down now to, well, London Open, and it's now just happened. Ash will be in with us shortly after he's made a decision on whether the FTSE and other things are going to be tradable. He got one away yesterday, which was a winner. That's a pretty good start to the week. Let's see if we can continue in that vein. Interesting that this inverted head and shoulders just has not played out, but we're back at that shoulder level, yeah? G'day, John. How you doing, buddy? And also Paul P. How are you? Trust you well. So, yeah, interesting how that didn't play out. It broke, came back, broke back through the neckline, and now retested that neckline and looks to be headed south to me. Again, it's a dollar story, not a pound story, but the pound is the COVID, good in economic numbers. What do you do, really? Is it a range trading day? Perhaps it is. Perhaps it is not. I had a look at the ranges, actually. Let's just briefly go through those on the 4-hour chart and see if there's something we can glean out of that. First one I liked as a range was Euro US dollar, actually. That's not Euro US dollar. That's Euro Kiwi. Kiwi seems to be pretty weak today from what I've seen. But this range is pretty clear. Let's bring it down to an hourly chart and see what we can find. So range bottom's probably in that vicinity, range top probably in that vicinity. Look at that big double top sitting there, guys. Nice. Let's put some parameters around this. I don't like using that. It's too high. So a couple of equal highs there, a couple of equal lows down here. In fact, we've got a plethora of them. And now false break back in. Didn't really get a higher low. So you could have probably put an entry above there, but the candle's pretty SH1T. Now we're probably, well, sorry, not probably, we are striving to get back into that range. Love to see the daily pivot broken and a higher low in this place to be able to trade the Euro US dollar long. Again, comes back to that Euro US dollar or the US dollar story, doesn't it? Euro CAD, mentioned this one yesterday. That was another one as well. And did we mention? Yeah, we did mention this one yesterday because I think somebody asked a question on it, what my thoughts were. And my thoughts were range traded. I think that's probably where I'm at still. A little bit tricky, this one, but I do like this level as the top of the range. It does look good, doesn't it? Let's put that in. So there are the highs. Here's the first, sorry, the lows. There's the first high. Second high is over here, I suppose. A couple of lows. There's a couple of lows there. Actually, let's use the lows as our first because I think that makes more sense. And it makes sense to me about there. Tell you, I saw a chart that I don't think I've ever seen before. Not that long ago. Was it Euro Kiwi? I think it was. Could be wrong. I think I am wrong. I'll have to find that. Bugger. Hate that when that happens. Kiwi was involved. I'm getting 130,000 degrees off track here. I'll find it later in the day. Bugger. Hate that. Anyway, let's get back to where we were. We were looking at the range on EuroCAD, right? So, yeah, this is where we were yesterday, right? And we pontificated that there was going to be a nice little candle that went up there and came back and gave us a higher low so we could trade it up to the pivots. That didn't happen. Instead, it just went whooshter. Bugger. Back oscillating between the pivots, tough to trade from there, I've got to say. Breakout, retest, then you can continue the long, still trading the range. I think that would be perfectly apt. Euro Aussie classic ranging pairs. Ranging pair. Let's have a look at that. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Let's go with a couple of highs. There's a couple of highs there and there. A couple of lows there and there. You could use these ones probably. So let's go with those. Oh, damn. I'll get there. Actually, I don't like those lows. What's going on? Monthly pivot looks good, doesn't it? It's that low there, and pick one. I think that's probably as close to the range as I'd see it. Big reversal off the monthly pivot in the bottom of the range. No higher low apart from that one there. Again, untradeable. I think that's exactly what I just asked for, wasn't it, on Euro US dollar? Or was it Euro CAD, perhaps? We have got a break above the weekly pivot. So let's look at we won't even look at a trade down there to the daily pivot and get a rejection bar off that. And then we can trade it towards the top. And one more, Aussie Swissy, I think was another candidate, Aussie Swissy, for a range trade. Certainly ranging, maybe broken out of that range. Let me have a look. Couple of highs. There's a couple of highs. There's a couple of lows. So there's our range. We have broken clear of it at this point. Yeah, I'd need to see that come back inside and break the daily pivot back, give us a higher low, and away we go. But yeah, that one's a little bit ugly. So for Euro, all about the Euro, basically. Euro dollar, Euro CAD, Euro Aussie, I think they're all potential range trades if you want to keep your eye on those. I did place 2 orders this morning. You saw pound US dollar, the short on that. Anything could happen there. That's exactly at entry at the moment, selling at 1.3867. Hate trading at this level, but the candle was just too good to refuse, and therefore the entry is underneath that bar, stop loss above it. TP1 just before DS2. Second one that I entered was similar sort of a candle, and I hate trading black bars short, but I figured if we could get an entry underneath the weekly pivot, that wouldn't be such a bad idea, but we have to take profit before this, what is potentially, I guess, a left shoulder on an inverted head and shoulders if that were to form. So you've got to get safe in the market at that point if you do get taken into this. But it does look like the Kiwi is for sale today, and it's pretty weak across all the currency pairs that I can see. So there you go, Lewis. To answer your question, that is what I've done this morning. I did place an order on Kiwi Swiss short. Hate trading those bars. In fact, I think I did say I'd much prefer to see a pullback here, and we can get an entry from up at this level. Maybe that's still possible on a smaller time frame. It's not there yet, of course, but yeah, if we could get a resistance trend line or trade line across here somewhere on a smaller time frame, I reckon that'd be far better, suit my purpose far better. And it's possible, I guess, with this particular scenario. I'd much prefer to enter up here than down here. There's no question about that. So I wouldn't mind if some buying came in, frankly. Get above here, then back underneath the confluence and trade it short. May not get the opportunity as the market seems to be at this point in time headed south for the Kiwi, which it has been doing all day. Are we going south or north on the FTSE, Ash? Or is it just, okay, we got our cash yesterday, forget it, let's go home till Monday?
Well, mate, I've got to be honest. That was my initial thoughts. We're going very much north at the minute, in accordance to what I would do anyway. I mean, obviously, that's completely different to what the facts are. The FTSE's up around about 0.5% from where it opened, which is actually a pretty good number. And it's come out of the traps pretty hot. But when I looked at it, there were only a few indicators that were lining up, and I was just a bit tentative about taking the long. It would have been my favored direction, but I just I waited. I'm waiting for a pullback. I'll show you what we got, because
Sure.
it's come out and it's very, very keen. I've tried to put these pivots on the chart for you guys as well. So let me just see if I can.
Lewis, did you duck out early yesterday? I fed you a question, you didn't answer it, and I knew that you'd be just there.
Right, you got my you got my FTSE trade, FTSE up here, right?
Yes, mate. Yep.
So you can see that there's this little trend line. I might get rid of this. These pivots are a bit messy. I've just put them on. What's this? Let's get rid of that as well. This trend line here may well hold up, and this might be where we get an opportunity with a bit of a pullback. But what I was looking for was there's a pattern on here that we can see, which doesn't look quite as good, interestingly, on the cash equivalent as it does on the futures. It's nowhere near as clean and crisp on this as it is on the futures. Okay, the futures are a lot better than this, but there's really is this this weekly pivot will explain it well enough. So as price was below this weekly pivot, this is an obvious kind of look for a move down again, as the weekly pivot could have acted as resistance. But as the market opened up, as I say, it was opening up and it looked pretty keen to go. But the weekly pivot was the thing that was just stopping me. Now, if that weekly pivot wasn't there, the price action coming down itself and pausing here would have been enough for me to go long. And the reason for that is when we look at this on a daily, we can see that there's a relatively nice horizontal level along here. So we basically stopped at that particular point. So I liked where price was when we opened up this morning, but that weekly pivot was problematic. Now, that weekly pivot has obviously been cleared, and the picture is still very keen. So really what we need is a pullback to this area. Now, the ECB are out later on, and will that be enough to bring us back? I don't know. And this is going to be the tricky thing. It might be opportunity lost for the day, which will be a little frustrating, but as I say, I'm going to need to mark this one off effectively in a journal, because it's these types of trades, if you like, it's these types of market structures and setups that need to be noted properly. Because when you are looking at indicators, when you guys are looking at your indicators, sometimes you'll see one indicator line up and then two others not line up, and it kind of make you think, well, can't take the trade because these indicators aren't there. This one is. So you wait for all your indicators to line up before you take the trade. Now that's fine, but there are opportunities where there might just be a little chink that you manage to spot that suggests actually that the indicators that have lined up have got more weight over the other ones on this particular occasion. And I was looking at it, and I couldn't decipher, I suppose, fast enough. Maybe it's because I was building these charts to put the pivots on just before the show, and I probably should have thought ahead a little bit more. But the preparation for this going on wasn't there, so I can't jump in. I'm not going to chase a trade. Just have to accept that sometimes the market is doing exactly what you thought it would do, but you haven't quite prepared well enough to kind of take advantage of that. And that's really what's happened this morning. So what I'm really looking for now, as I say, is a pullback, and it's probably a pullback to the weekly pivot. I wouldn't trade it counter trend. I say counter trend the initial bars move. I'm not interested in that at all, but I would like to trade it back to the upside. So I would like to see that the market come back into the area, and I think there's a chance it could do it. We've got the ECB later on. I think it's at 2:40 UK time. We've got lots of data tomorrow, lots of releases tomorrow. That suggests, and really going to your point, mate, about the euro being possibly range bound today. That might be why, because we've got this ECB meeting later on.
Is it a meeting or is it a speech? I thought it was.
Oh, it might be a speech. Yeah, you might be right.
I can't quite remember. I'll have a look.
But this is slightly.
Oh, it's Lagarde, yeah.
It's Lagarde, yeah. She's out later, and she doesn't have the same. 2:40, which is just around about the US Open. 10 minutes after the US Open. So US Open. When I was looking at it, I was thinking, okay, US Open is probably the opportunity today. But as you can see, the opportunity's actually been and gone really, because we could have taken the trade just as it poked its head above the weekly pivot and gone with it. But as I say, the signals weren't quite there. It was a tricky one this morning, mates, and I'm going to put some of it down to user error. I think I probably could have done a little bit better with preparation for it, and I'm going to put some of it down to wanting to wait for more things lining up. Some of it was because I just wanted.
I'm in that exact position right now. I've got Aussie yen that I'm just biting my teeth here, going, got to trade Aussie yen long, and there's a setup there now, but it's against my rules, so I've just got to stay out.
Yeah, well, this is it, and this is where when is a rule not a rule, and I've got to be honest, and you're at this point as well, but some of the way that I know that I am successful in the market is by being intuitive, because of my relationship with the FTSE. Some of it is being a bit more intuitive and really kind of like bending things out, but that doesn't mean that I'm not really focused on the rules of the strategy. I really am, and I suppose it's one of those things that it's okay to break the rules or bend them as long as you recognize that's what you're doing, and take
and cop it on the chin if you get it wrong.
Yes, you got to take something,
and you will. A lot of, in fact, I've found most of the intuitive trades are split 50-50. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
Yeah. I would go with that. I'd go with that too. But that's where we're at anyway, mate. So what would be the ideal now is for the market to come back, rest on that weekly pivot, my lineup to be there as well, and me being vilified for waiting. That would be the best. But being justified for waiting. If I get not vilified, sorry. If I'm justified for waiting for the correct setup, that would be the ideal scenario. So let's hope that does happen. It may or may not, but the idea right now is for the FTSE 100 to go long at the weekly pivot. So I'm gonna put these levels in. Now I'm probably going to want to come out at the daily pivots, because that would have been my initial target anyway. There is this horizontal level here, and I'm surprised, to be honest, that the market has got quite a bit beyond that daily pivot before potentially seeing some retracement. Now it could be that because the market just wants to wait above the daily pivot and keep going, and I don't see why that wouldn't necessarily happen. But let's see what we got. So if it was but between the pivots, we got 15 there. We'd need to go in at the lows. It's going to be less than 1-to-1 in this one, but only just. So I'd be okay to take that. So let me put this in. Actually, no, I'm not going to put that in. I'm not going to put that in just because the picture could change. The fact that it's less than 1-to-1 is bothering me somewhat. If I take the trade, the levels will be at 70.71 and looks like 70.52 with a target of 70.87. Let's call it 70.88. That they will be the targets, but I'll write it in if I get the trade. But right now I'm not 100% sure I will or I won't. So I'm not going to preempt this one because there are still a few things that if I'm going to now follow the correct passage, if you like, then I do need these indicators to line up, and I'm not sure they're going to do that actually. But we will see, mate. The market is at least coming back. So there might well be an opportunity.
Interesting market. Of course, since the Fed, we've had a strong dollar, a retracement on a strong dollar, and now it looks like the dollar wants to go again. It's interesting with all these currencies whether that little, or in some cases big retracement, is just that, or is it the reversal? I still haven't got the answer to that question, frankly.
No,
I'm hopeful we do get it today.
Well, it is an interesting market, and I think the COTSA report last week. I think there was 2 releases actually last week in the end, but I think that the release was quite interesting in the way that there was so much participation, and I've not seen quite the same movement. And it might be something to do with the fact that there was two on top of each other, but there did seem to be a little bit of kind of imbalance going on. Now, it didn't suggest the dollar was going to rally. It suggested the dollar would come back and give a better opportunity. So the dollar may be in a bit more of a range. I'm not sure if it's going to whether it's going to keep going here or not. Maybe the ECB meeting might change that. We might start to see the euro weaken and the dollar rally, but it's certainly not suggesting. It wasn't suggesting that on the COT data. Bitcoin also getting a bit of a boost right now as well. So we see those cryptocurrencies coming back into play, and a risk on, I guess, kind of feel about a market which is range bound. It's like range bound, but in a risk on with a risk on kind of attitude going on at this stage. So I think the shorts are still a bit dangerous to take, certainly with equities. I think we certainly want to be staying with the long side for right now, but there could be the squeeze coming soon for equities to possibly reverse. But right now, there's no reason to suggest that's going to happen. And on top of that, there's no reason to suggest the dollar is going to continue to move to the upside. I think the dollar could be in a bit of a range for a little while now. Let me just see what the price of the dollar is.
Dollar index looks fairly bullish.
It does actually, mate. Yeah, but 92. Well, it's got to get above 92.40, isn't it? Yeah, it looks a shade keen for me. I think. Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, looking at that weekly. That weekly is almost kind of suggesting that we have a bit of a bull flag. When you go back to the daily, it looks like a bull flag, doesn't it? I can't show you the dollar index on here, unfortunately, but I could probably
I can't show it either, which is weird. I can
probably show you it on the euro dollar. If we look at this,
yeah, it's the same. You've got a little tweezer top sitting on a pivot there, and you've pretty much got that on the dollar index in reverse. Of course.
You know what? I'm going to have to tidy these charts up first. I'll tidy these charts up first, and then we'll start having a look at these. But this you can see this on the move here on the 4 hour. That's not the whole flagpole, but this kind of area here. When you look on your daily chart, it's kind of creating a bit of a flag, and that would suggest lower for right now. But yeah, you're right. The dollar does look quite bullish at this stage.
I don't know if we know the whole story yet, but that's the
no.
way
I don't think we do. I don't think we do. Again, data out on tomorrow, isn't it? Tomorrow it starts. So that's
there's some manufacturing numbers tomorrow. I think that's about it, isn't it?
I thought there was some ADP employment numbers tomorrow. Yeah, we got ADP non-farm employment change tomorrow. Chicago PMIs, pending home sales, crude oil inventories. I think there was something with the OPEC meeting as well, which pushed oil down initially, but that's getting a bit of a bounce back again today.
The manufacturing is not till Thursday. Yeah. Okay.
Manufacturing Thursday, yes, which is that's the number that I'm the most interested. The market doesn't seem that all that enamored by that number oftentimes, but I really like that particular print. And also average earnings and non-farm employment change on Friday. So there's quite the employment rate on Friday as well. So there's quite a lot really from the States this week, which again would suggest that the dollar's probably not likely to explode to the upside, but at least before Friday. It could do after it, particularly if those unemployment numbers see a big sink. I would have thought that the dollar will probably get another boost to the upside, but I wouldn't be keen. It just looks like an area that you just don't really want to be involved.
Sorry, I'm still looking for this incredible chart pattern that I saw, and I can't find the bloody thing.
On what products?
Yeah, if I knew that, I'll be able to tell you. I just can't find it. I thought it was on a daily chart, and I thought it was to do with the Aussie and the yen, but that's not the case. I'll find it.
Yeah, keep looking out. So we've got Shukri today, I presume.
We do. He'll be upcoming very, very shortly. I'm not sure what he's going to say. What can he say about this scenario? You say the Bitcoin's on a rally, or
yeah, Bitcoin's looking pretty good, and we've had some news as well from Binance being the microscope effectively being put under Binance UK. Which I think is a bit concerning for some people, because I think most people kind of would have considered Binance UK to be relatively safe. But what it seems to be doing is regulating the leveraged trading, which is a positive. It's a good thing. But there are a few potential negatives, if you like, with the crypto space, with the crypto markets right now. And some potentially negative news, and I think the fact that we've had that Binance story happen, and Bitcoin is rallying, and much of the crypto market is rallying, is a really good sign. We've been talking about the potential for the Wyckoff accumulation pattern to be going on, or the drop. What's happening? We've got this bear cross, and I think I said to Shukri last week. Interestingly, it's the bear cross that makes me a buyer, because it's almost like trading 101. If you see a bear cross, you sell it. So it's almost the perfect time for those institutes to kind of like come in and accumulate. So if you've got a belief in the crypto market, then you start going, well, actually, you know what? Now everybody's kind of giving us a possibility to kind of take part here by giving us all their money. Giving us the opportunity to trade it, because they've seen this bear cross and this death cross, in the moving averages. They've seen this death cross, so it's the first thing they've learned. So they go and start selling their crypto. Then it starts to make you kind of go, okay, well that looks like the perfect kind of sleight of hand trick to me. And as I say, if you believe in the crypto market, it looks like a good place to start accumulating. Now, if you don't, which I know you don't, then you're not bothered, right? But if you do, let's put it down to a different thing, mate. Let's say that you were bullish on the euro. You like the euro, don't you?
Like trading the euro, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's say you were bullish on the euro dollar, and everybody's saying the euro is going down, and it's hit this support level, and it's quite a strong support level, and it keeps bouncing around the support level, and then there's this death cross on the 50-200 moving average. But you really bullish on the euro dollar. At that point, you think, well, that's almost the perfect time to get contrarian and start building a position.
Yeah,
that's what's happened with Bitcoin, and that's my point. That's the point I'm making with Bitcoin, is that it's the perfect time to start building a position, really, because everybody is now seeing that the technicals kind of go into this kind of bearish signal. So you go, well, if you're going to make money in the market, you've got to be contrarian. Probably, maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's the way I always.
Well, yeah. Look, you don't have to be. You can be a trend trader. You can trade the wave rider strategies, the flow strategies, and play those, no problem, and make money. But I think on smaller time frames, it probably is very, very handy tool to have to be contrarian, because they move around so much, and not necessarily with trend. In fact, most often you'll find that I'm trading counter trend if I'm trading small time frames, which I'm not at the moment, as I've said, for weeks and weeks. But
Mate, now, now, oh, hold on, what have we got here? John, the FTSE keeps moving either side of the 70-74. Is this good analysis? Okay, let's have a quick look at that, and then if you could get to Alexis's question.
Yeah, I've got Alexis's, and two ways to look at it. And
okay,
Lexi, I think I see what you're saying.
Let me deal with the FTSE and then
Yep.
come to the euro, because I'd like to know your opinion on that as well, for my own personal reasons. So 70-74. Let's have a look on the hourly. That's 70-74 there. Shukri's in the room. Great. Okay, keeps moving either side of the 70. So on the 21st of June.
I can hear something shaking.
Let's get rid of these. Okay. Yeah, I think it is, John. I think that is. And you might even be able to go back a bit further. Look, there's even sort of like, right at the start of June. Look, here's the 70-74 here. That was it's an interesting level actually, because it reacts. It's reacted here before in a kind of in a I suppose in a small way it was reacting here before, but it reacted here again at this point here. Now it might not be absolutely 70-74, but it's kind of circa there. There's that's where it just came just below it. A little bit of price action here where it's got a bit messy. It's a bit cleaner here. There's a couple of defined touches at 70-74. I think the reason that we can use 70-74 now is because of the weekly pivot. And we could also put a fib on this as well and just see whether the fib is bouncing. Yeah, and look, there's a 23% retracement there from the high back down again. So there's a few things here that would suggest 70-74 would be good. Nice bit of price action over here. Bit of price action here as well. So I think that is good analysis, mate. And one of the reasons that I think we can try and get into this area, I'd like it down to the weekly pivot, but you might be right. It might not come quite as far as that. So let's mark that off. Change it to a 5-minute chart and see if we can get that, and then we'll come back to it. So we'll watch out for 70-74, and I'll also put a fib on the upside run to see whether that gives us any confluence. The confluence actually is at 61% retracement off the pivot, unless we go from the very, very bottom, which is 50% to the 70-74. So yes, somewhere around there, isn't it? 70-74 to 70-71, maybe even 70-70. So we got a kind of a 4-pip window of opportunity, possibly. Yeah. So let's quickly do the euro dollar, mate. Sorry, the pound, euro pound, and then we will get to Shukri and find out how he's feeling about the buoyancy in the crypto market right now.
Okay, happy days. Before I answer Lexi, I want to address your question. Well, your statements really, Lewis. You went to sleep. How dare you go to sleep in our show? That's just ridiculous. Never heard of anything so silly, mate. The question was, and I'm sure you'll answer it now if you're still awake. That is, I don't care if it's ranging in a rectangle. I don't care if it's ranging in a triangle. I don't care if it's ranging in a Lewis. Enter. Whilst I'm answering Lexi's question, look, I think
you could have used Kurt Angle. That would have been better. He was a wrestler.
Kurt, was it?
Kurt Angle. Yeah, I don't care if it's a rectangle. I don't care if it's a triangle. I don't care if it's a Kurt Angle. Yeah, that might be something we can work on.
We'll work on that one.
Yeah.
Look, I honestly think this is one of the toughest currency pairs on the planet right now. what I saw, what is it, 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, was this scenario. And I was desperate to see a pullback so we could actually trade this long, having traded it short for quite some time. And we got out of that, I don't know when, long time before we should have, because it had come back into picking the range is tough as well, right? You could go up here, you could go down here, and of course that's the ultimate range. But there's a tighter one in here, I do believe, and we've come off that, and we've retested the monthly pivot, as you can see there. When was that? Last month? Yes, last month. So I figured that was a higher low after a big bullish engulfing bar off the bottom of that range. That hasn't even looked like triggering, not even close to it. And look at the market since. OMG, that's like SH1T and all of those things combined. That's almost untradeable. But what it has potentially delivered is a higher low at the end of the day with this little tweezer bottom sitting here. What are you laughing?
I love
it. We've got a bit clown in the room. So I do see that tweezer bottom sitting there. I also see the monthly pivot dead ahead. But I also see what you're potentially, well, I think you're potentially seeing. You could call that a left shoulder, right shoulder, head if you wanted to, make up anything. But I'm inclined to be bullish at the end of the day. And then I see this classic slingshot setup on that resistance trade line. The issue I would have with that, as I'm sure you will recognize, is an untested daily pivot sitting below us. So what I would really like to see is something of a little bit of a pullback now to test that daily pivot, come back to this trade line, or even do this on a smaller time frame. This is an H4, of course, but if we manage to get down to there, give us a false break, we could trade that. It's a long time from now, I know. So even a bounce off the daily pivot, come back to this trade line at some stage, give us one of those again. We're getting plenty of shots over the bow here. High test bar, rejection off the trade line, rejection off the trade line. I'd like to see another one of those, and I think that would then become tradable to the high side. So I am bullish. I'm just not willing right now to trade that against the daily pivot and into these highs. Hope
it's a tricky one as well, isn't it, mate? I mean,
it is.
Fundamentals on the euro are pretty bleak, and for the pound they're okay. Apart from this Delta variant that might just put a spanner in the works, but it's just not there yet. And I don't know, I don't know how you feel about the fundamental analysis you've done, Lexi, but I just can't back the euro. I can't back it at all at the minute. But it is
the pound is questionable. So, and it's tough from both angles to trade right now, I think.
Yeah.
But I am bullish.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see what Ms. Lagarde has to say a little bit later.
It will, yeah. Ms. Lagarde will be out. So,
and I'm pretty exposed to the pound at the moment too. I've got pound yen short, which hasn't. I don't think it's come back to entry yet. I think we're still in drawdown on that. Pound yen.
Talking of entry, mate. FTSE's back at entry, and I'm having to choose not to take it.
Cool.
Something doesn't feel right today.
I will say this about pound yen. I think if we don't get a close below the weekly pivot today, I will look to scale out of this. I won't get out of it, but I'll scale out of it. So I'll reduce my risk on it by half if we don't get a close below the weekly pivot today. If we get into profits, like you said yesterday, Ash, I may switch this. I won't switch it, actually. I'll take half my risk off the table and then get into pound Swissy.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I did see the pound starting to weaken against the yen, and I thought there might be a possibility to be able to come out of break even.
Well, I think we can do better than that, frankly.
Yeah.
But
that'd be fantastic. Do you know what the ideal scenario would be? Get those stops at break even and then enter it into the pound Swissy, wouldn't it? Is that what you just said?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, we've got a Bitcoin bugger shouting out at us.
Let's get the Bitcoin man in going up, because Shukri, interesting. I think this is fascinating. Binance have been slapped, and Bitcoin rallies, which is a really good sign, surely.
And you can't trade with Binance, and you can't trade derivatives, which is not good.
No, but do you know what, mate? I mean, do you know what? I looked at it and I thought, it's not that bad. I mean, it's just what they're going to do. Well, they're going to regulate some of the leverage trading on it. So if you want to own something, you can still go and buy it, but it's just that you can't. Well, they're going to regulate the leveraged accounts, right? Which is which are the traders that keep getting run over. So in a lot of
regulate the leverage accounts, because a lot of people are getting hurt.
A lot of people are getting hurt, which is good though, isn't it? Isn't it good that they're doing that?
Yeah, it's actually good. So
you're hard men.
All this
you're really hard.
I mean, what do you mean?
Your fellow traders are getting smashed, and you laugh. That's not fair.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying, mate. What the fellow traders are getting smashed, and the regulators are coming out and saying we can't have this, so we're going to take away the leveraged accounts on Binance. So I'm saying it's a good thing.
Oh, that's the good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's about time. It's about time they did this. I don't know it took them so long. You know, they should have done this long time ago. But there is something shaking in the house. And it's a bear. It's a bear that got trapped.
It's a bear, okay?
It's a bear that got trapped during the weekend.
Yeah.
During this fall, and of course, this came after the options expiration. This was understood because there was a lot of options here that, you know, it had to be pushed below 32 for it to expire out of the money. So this was, I already expected that, because, you know, that just happens, right? A lot of manipulation during options expiry. But this is a truly trap, because that weekend, the biggest short ever was set up.
Wow.
A lot of people borrowed, and as usual. And this is the thing, it's really, sometimes trading Bitcoin is really hard. It doesn't matter whether you're a bear or a bull, because it's manipulated. It's out to blow you out.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how the Binance of the world make money. And somehow you're like, you know, once you're overly here, just a little push up and you're in trouble, and everybody buys again this bar, right?
Yeah.
to just clear everything.
Yeah.
So now we're here. So this now, this thing, not that, I'm going to tell you about that. This looks very, very good. Okay, this is this one. This is the original, this.
I mean, that is brilliant, isn't it?
Simulation.
Look at that. Look at how clean that is.
It's very clean and accurate. Now, this is what happened during, that was a 4-hour chart, but this is an 8-hour, but basically it did that.
Yeah.
Just below 30, and now it's there again. And that's, I agree that's the resistance. That's another point. And then 42, 47, 50, something like that. So this is where it looks to be heading at. And that's very accurate, you know.
Yes, it is amazing, mate. That is it's quite incredible that slots
just like the
over the top of it.
Yeah, just like where the Wyckoff distribution played out and this played out. So you can see the degree of manipulation here. It's almost perfect. Just like
mate, was that? I've heard you guys talk about this for quite some time. Is this being generated by computers, or is this a guy's analysis?
No. This is manual. They actually come together to do that. Yeah, this is not. I know where you're coming from, Jeff. Like stocks, right? There's all these computerized things that go haywire. No. This is intentional.
So he drew this chart when?
They just followed the pattern. They followed it before. This has always been there. How long has this been? 100 years?
No, well, not quite that long, but a few decades. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
okay.
Yeah. It's older than you, Jeff. So isn't this cool?
Impossible.
It's not that old. It's old, but it's not.
Impossible.
So it works. So you know what? I have to change myself to a Bitcoin now.
But this was the interesting thing, wasn't it, Shukri? We were talking last week, And my view was that when we see that death cross, that it's a good time to start accumulating some Bitcoin, because you've kind of got the contrarian kind of side of the market. So it's a good time to say, okay, you guys are all seeing this death cross and talking about it, so we should start buying here. But it was always the argument of, are we trading the death cross, or are we trading the Mycroft accumulation pattern? And I suppose it depended on what your belief on the crypto market was to know which way you were going to trade. Now, of course, it could still fail. It could still go wrong. And this is where I quite like what the regulators have done against Binance, because it forces people to make a choice.
Yes.
They're not kind of going, I will trade this, because the crypto market to trade, I have to say, it's been brilliant, and I'll tell you why I think it's a brilliant market to trade. Firstly, there's enough volatility to get an answer of your opinion, and secondly, it does seem to love levels. It does seem to respect price points at this stage. So it's great for trading, but I think that to get people to make a choice on the crypto space and say, is it the future or is it not the future? That this is what Binance, I think, ultimately could do. I mean, what's your take on it, mate? Because I think that actually this puts us back into proper investing in crypto if they take away this leverage stuff.
I think the volatility will go down. So now there are two death crosses. Let's see what happened during the past two bullish death crosses. Well, the first one was 2020. So basically it went down and went up, right? So that was kind of a bullish cross.
Yeah.
Death cross. And now there was another one in 2018. It actually did this, or was it 2009? It did this. It kind of did this, and then it did that. So are we seeing this? Or are we seeing this? This was the two times when it actually was bullish. So it touched again. And this is the worry now, is that what about those 16,000 GBTCs that will be unlocked in mid-July? But then you can also say that, hey, if they are down, why in the world would they sell? Because they're rich people. The ones who bought into the grayscale are rich people. I would assume they will not need that money to pay the bills like you and me,
Yeah, well, Kathy Wood has just applied for an ETF as well, isn't she, for Bitcoin trading? So there are still there's still institutes that are fans of this, and the way I'm looking at it is that if this breaks down to 20, which I think would be the next potential area, then I think we should still be buyers. I think we should still be buyers down there and say that, okay, it's probably all over after 10, maybe. That would be the sort of time that I go.
Simple. This market will only be over after we have the fat, they say, the Americans say that it ain't over till the fat woman sings. So to me, the fat woman sings when there is an ETF.
Yes. So this is really, so we're back to the SEC, aren't we?
Yes, there has to be an ETF. I mean, Canada has it, and Brazil, everyone has it. Unlike the US, I do not find that possible. I think the US must have an ETF. What happens?
The other thing I quite like about what's going on with the Binance thing is that the crypto space does need regulation. Yes. And it really does need to be. It does again sort of like come back to where do you sit how do you want to participate with the crypto market, because it's a really exciting space. So if we're sort of like, if we're going to get this right, and if we are going to move to the next potential phase of utilizing this stuff, then it needs regulation.
Yes,
so maybe that's just what we got, is that regulation starting, and it doesn't mean the death of it. Actually, it could mean the life of it, because
the proper of it, proper. Big thing is now that would get more people happy is the Bitcoin dominance is coming down. So I pointed this yesterday. What was more important yesterday to the smaller traders is this. Now let's press this. The Bitcoin dominance is down now. That is very important. All you need to do is go to what happened in the past 24 hours. Look, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Binance Coin move higher than Bitcoin. Look at that. XRP move higher than Bitcoin. Polkadot move higher than Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash move higher than Bitcoin. Everything is moving higher than Bitcoin, which is good. See that Ethereum Classic is moving higher than Bitcoin because of the hard fork or whatever. This is a Charles thing, you know. Charles Hoskinson is looking after this, so that's good. See that? This is good. Just look at that. The past 1 day, Aave, Bitcoin, SV.
So Binance coin hasn't had a big drop.
No, it hasn't. It's still there. It hasn't moved, but it hasn't dropped a lot.
Interesting.
No, because they probably say that they probably say that I don't think they're that big in UK, right? But I don't know. It's probably some fodder thing. But again, we must remember that it took 1 year for the SEC to get to Arthur Hayes, and Arthur Hayes is US citizen. CZ is not. So
hey, what was the reason they banned it?
BitMEX manipulation.
Okay, so
they were the ones doing that funny thing, all the manipulation in the markets. And okay, we hear this again, right? The same old story for those who were not in crypto before. If you had traded on BitMEX, the same thing would happen that it's happened now on Binance. You can't get in. During the time when you wanted to get in, you just couldn't get in.
So what do people do now, Shukri? And if they would they just go over to trade with eToro or something? I mean, how do they now? How do they now?
Huobi, I think Huobi is good because Huobi is Chinese, but Huobi seems to be complying. It should immediately that they won't give leverage to people from UK and the US and all these good countries. But that sucks. It doesn't suck now, but if you were navigating a bear market, I think it would suck big time.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, one of my favorite strategies in the bear market. I mean, you would know this, Ash. I don't know if any others would know this, because one thing that I like to do in the bear market, is I don't have anything much to do, because I say even trading in the bear market is dangerous. Okay, you short and then you get flipped over and you're gone again. So what I try to do during expiration is easy. I have a spot here and I have a futures here, and you guys know, Ash would know, I don't know whether you guys know, there's a difference. There's contango or there's backwardation. So you long one and you short the other one, and bang, when they go on together, you make money, you get out. That's it. But you can't do it. You can't do it here.
That's you make a really good point, mate. And you know what? Actually, one of my favorite investors always buys the physical share, and he always trades as well. He puts exactly the same thing on a trading account, so he can kind of he can take advantage of a little bit of leverage on one side, and
and then
it's a great system actually.
And really like trading options, like this is like a neutral strategy. The other thing is if it becomes a true bear, I use Deribit to trade options. But hey, Ash, you can't do that too. You can't join us when it's a bear market.
No.
But it's okay, Jeff can join us.
I mean,
so how's Jeff's account going? Not account.
Yeah, Karura one, that's good. Karura one, we're waiting. Did they announce the next one? I thought they were going to announce the next one. I think the next one announced will be Moon River, and then it should be Shiden, and then but I think the Polkadot should recover because of the next ones.
So I'm rich already?
Yeah, Karura.
Awesome.
We're waiting for the
How about Carla?
Fala, we don't know. They're behind the race, Jeff.
Was that was number 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they're kind of behind now, so you have to let the first 3 go ahead first.
So that's not a good thing, right?
I don't know, that is not a good thing. But another thing that I want to talk about is John is here. Like, see, we always talk about crypto as trading, but you know what I found out? Oh man, I only found out recently. It can also be used for other things. For example, travel. Look at this. This is Travala, right? So Travala is actually a crypto Agoda. So that will be the end of my adventures on Agoda. I'll tell you why. Look at this Pullman. Okay, this is in Bali. This is cheap because Ash can't go there. I can't go there. Nobody can go there. I don't know what's happening. US $41. Are you kidding me? US 206 for 5 nights?
Wow.
What's that? This is Bali. But here's the thing. And I'll tell you why this can be used to actually make money and all that. Okay. In a way that you didn't see. I only learned this on Sunday. I didn't even know that this could be done. But I'm definitely going to try to do it, is that the payment here. Where's the payment just now? Where is the payment? The payment can actually be made in cryptos.
Yeah, I saw a little box actually.
Yeah, I know.
The poor buggers would take bottle tops, wouldn't they, at the moment? To be honest.
Yeah, let's book this
I mean,
now.
they're in dreadful trouble.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when we think about crypto, okay, they can allow booking in crypto, then in our heads is like, okay, is it Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? That's it. But look at this, Jeff, you can pay through crypto.com wallet.
Hey,
No, you don't have to be cash next time.
but what am I
Wow.
buying? I'm buying something I'll never use.
That's
I've got to wait. I've got to wait till it goes up and sell it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, you can even use it for your hotel. You can use on Binance Pay. But look at this crypto. Now this is a really big deal, because look at that. You can pay anything.
Wow, that is amazing.
So you understand, if you buy the crypto low and it goes higher, you can stay many more nights in Bali.
I'm not going to Bali.
No, you can go anywhere. This is Travala. Just use Travala there. Travala. You can pay in Polkadot, you can pay in Stellar, you can pay in Dash, you can pay in Zilliqa.
That's amazing.
Okay, you can't pay in Pancake. Sorry, Pancake Lord, you can't pay in your Pancake swap. No, not.
So
It is-
let me
you know what?
let me get this right. Travala is a broker for hotels, right?
Yeah, it's like Agoda, and it's also going to come up with a rival to Airbnb called D Travel, which is good. Which is good. See, even I see House of Dao, you can pay with paid tokens. So there's so many things. Now, let me tell you why this is important. I'm rearranging all my, I have a YouTube channel. I do make videos, but I did it wrong. I'm going to do it the style of, for cryptos. I don't have a show every day, but I do make videos if I want to be an ambassador. And sometimes, say I go to Bali, right? I just go and make videos of how great the beach is in Bali, of how great the rice fields are in Bali. That
Bamboo.
not good. That doesn't monetize. Now, I'll tell you my strategy next. I'm going to go to Bali. I'm going to take a lot of pictures of this hotel here, and then I'm going to pay it to Travala. And then whenever I'm there, I'm just say, hey guys, meet the hotel manager. I need this video of you. I posted it in, what was that site? The travel site? I forgot.
Travala.
Ranking one? No, not Travala, the other one.
Travago.
Expedia? Is it Expedia or Trivago? We got a few different.
The one that the review site.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
me
know what
too.
I mean, right? Yeah,
It's on the tip of our tongue.
And then, do you know what? People have been
TripAdvisor.
TripAdvisor. People have been getting free rooms. Once you complete 5 videos, you can actually write to them and say, hey, I've done this video, blah, 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 and you can negotiate for free rooms.
Wow.
I don't even have to pay for the room. So all those good shots about Bali or whatever, I just speed it up. But
So
that's
you've got
not my
to
main
take
thing.
these inside COVID, right?
Yeah, no, this has to be outside COVID, but it is a good way to travel. Really, this is what I said. This is like, I love a freebie. This is like something that we don't see. This is the reality, the real life in crypto, that you can use your knowledge and a combination of crypto to get a lot of freebies. And
I
that's,
totally get what you're saying, and it sounds fantastic. But
I know.
there's a flipping pandemic going on. We can't go anywhere.
After the pandemic, yeah.
So we can take.
Yes, when Agoda and again, I'm in Travala. I know I'm late in Travala. I'm okay. It's okay. Can't be early all the time. But when Agoda and Expedia, blah, 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 go to crypto, you know what? I already have my resume there.
Yep, cool.
And people are using this to get $500 rooms. And you know what I also learned? Not only do I need a new Mac, I need a drone. I didn't know that. If you have a drone and you could do a shoot, people can pay you up to $700 US for a drone shot. So I need
the hotel.
There we go. It's called the Mavic Mini or something, which I don't know. I'll buy True because I know the first one will probably crash into a coconut tree in Bali.
No doubt. If you're the pilot, I've got no doubt.
But the two models, I'll buy the $100 one, but I know I'm gonna write it off. Then I'll buy the $400 one, you know, so that I'm not confused. The controls are almost the same, right?
I'd like to have a drone, I've got to say, and I've thought about it often, but
No. But now I know you can make money, Jeff. I didn't know that. Like $700? You know, just
man, there's
flying
people
around
making
the world.
big money out of drone footage all over the place.
See, how come you didn't tell me that? I just,
Sorry, you didn't ask.
that's why. See, that's why we talk about trading, but crypto is not only for trading. You can even use it to make money.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, and Simon says a PP drone too. Yeah, maybe my $100 will be shot down. Like, bang!
I can't see the chat.
Yeah, but it's amazing, you know. So this is the world of crypto, guys. It's coming. Whatever it is, I think it is coming, and I just need to be there, not only in terms of trading and investing, but also in terms of these things. I did not expect it, because when I heard of Travala, I just assumed, okay, they will allow you to pay in Travala tokens. Well, that's obvious, Bitcoin and Ethereum. And when I opened this, like, wow, BUSD, USDT, like Tron. Amazing.
So is Travala only a new thing, is it?
Oh, yeah, it is new, just about 2 years ago.
Okay, interesting.
It surprises me the range of products you can pay with. Surprised they haven't just gone, you know, for the top 10 or whatever. The fact they've reached down so low is quite amazing. So I presume they Travala take your cryptocurrencies, convert it into whatever the currency is in their country, and then they pay the hotels and whatever else.
It's an interesting model, because when do they pay the hotels? Do they pay the hotels on current value, or do they pay the hotels?
I think that there's a frozen time when they ask you to pay in cryptocurrency. They will freeze the rate for a certain time. Okay, and you know what's most impressive of this? Okay, Simon would know this, right? Look, this one and this one are coins that IDO'd this year. It's like February and April. Look, this and this. This is not like a 1-year-old coin. This is like several months. It's already like, wow.
Yeah, amazing. It is amazing. As I say, I'm surprised at the ones they've got there. I mean, a Bitcoin I understand, and I would have thought some sort of dollar-backed coin would be up there. But yeah, I'm surprised that it goes down to some of those other ones down the bottom there.
Yeah, but this will also allow us to spend from our wallet onto holidays, you know. So it's like, okay, I'm sure the tax guys will figure it out somewhere how to, you know, because you have your credit
on that you can be sure.
And you spend it somewhere. I don't know how they will account for that, but to me, it's like, hey, I don't even have to bring the money here. Nobody here sees the money. I spend it whenever I go overseas. I'm cool.
Yeah, I like that. That's interesting.
Very. And Jeff, so that's why, Jeff, you now have to practice using your crypto.com thing. You can pay in your crypto.com. I don't know how you do it, but here. Let's press this for Jeff.
All I've got to do is find something I want to buy. Shukri.
I know, look, it's here, Jeff.
Pay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it is something, if it pays here, I think it will link to your application. I've used this before. I don't know what I pressed, but suddenly the thing came out on my phone. Okay. I don't know what I pressed, but I think they give you
So where do you think I'm going to get on if you don't know what you press?
I think they will give you a QR code. You have your crypto.com, you QR that one, and then it will come out and they will say pay based on whatever is in your wallet.
Oh, there goes another 8 hours of my life.
Jeff will delay the hotel checkout. Hey, in Bali, guys, we let Jeff check out last, okay?
In Bali, if we ever get back to, oh my God, I can't imagine you and Ash and I in Bali. Oh dear.
But here's the thing. Now here's the thing, because you know I'm following this NAS daily class. Here's the thing, right now. Let me, because they really brainwashed my mind on this monetization. See, Jeff paying with cash is of no use. Me catching a video of Jeff paying with crypto.com is very monetizable.
Okay, when do we do that?
When there's no pandemic.
I'll get the drone up in the air. I'll get the drone up here.
You got the drone up in the air. Don't crash into my drone, okay? Also, be careful with my drone.
I'll sue you.
My
You
drone,
crash into my drone.
get out of the way, okay?
I'll sue you with cryptos.
Yeah, but before that, Jeff, they told me that there's a drone with an anti-collision thing.
Oh, of course there is. So, yeah,
I think
of course there is.
I think I'll buy that.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up for the day. I think we got the genuine message. We're all going on holiday, and we're going to start with our cryptocurrencies and buy a drone. Start practicing with the drone. That's the other thing to take away. And
stay away from my drone.
yeah, the market is generally a bit sticky from what I can see, and I could make a case for either way now with the FTSE. So I'm waiting for the US Open now. I don't know what you're thinking, Jeff. If there's anything to update us on.
No, I think I've covered just about everything. I still have a little bit of a penchant for Aussie yen. It's not setting up at the moment, but it is pulling back off that trend line again. So I think that's going to provide us with an opportunity. It may even be there at the end of this candle, the current candle. I better show you, huh?
Yeah, let's have a quick look.
And Simon, I think that's interesting. The VPN scenario, you know, if they ban Binance, it doesn't matter anymore, does it? Because you can be wherever you want to be. And that's the crazy part. Am I sharing?
You are, mate. Yeah.
Okay, so what I've got is I'll call it a tweezer bottom on a 30-minute chart. I won't call it a double bottom. I'll call it a little tweezer bottom across the weekly pivot. So we've come back above the weekly pivot. We've rejected it once. This is the key point now. If we actually, I'd really like it to close below the weekly pivot. And at that point, I think I'd be interested in placing a long above that bar there. It may be a little bit early, but it's looking okay to me. Let me just check the hourly chart. Yeah, no, I don't like it on the hourly chart, but I don't mind it on the 30-minute chart. So there's a potential long here. The reason I've waited till now is twofold. I wanted to get enough space to take a first profit before we ran into the high of the day, which is here. So we couldn't take it earlier. And now I do like this, because if this now goes with momentum, bearish engulfing bar, another bearish engulfing bar, it should take out this low and continue on the short side. But if that's not the case, then this comes back into play. And that then should be, if this doesn't close down here, of course, a higher low potentially, and entry there makes sense to me, taking profit at this level. The other one I was looking at was what? We're in the pound short. Kiwi Swiss hasn't triggered yet, but very close to triggering. I'm actually hoping this pulls back before it goes, and I'd like to get a better entry than we've got, but we'll catch that one a little bit later. Also, Aussie yen I've mentioned. Everything else is going okay. Oh, I did want to update Euro Swissy for you. I have taken further profit on Euro Swissy. I took it earlier this morning, and I've also moved my stop loss below yesterday's daily bar, and I had it at entry, but I've taken further profit. And the reason I've taken further profit is because of this key reversal bar, because I think the potential for this to go short off that bar is high. And if that is the case, I actually want to trade that short. And I want to lock in the profit if it does do that. If it doesn't, and we get a close above the monthly pivot and we pull back, then I might even consider the long, because it does look as though it's a potential bouncy, big bullish engulfing bar. This could go long as well. If so, I'll scale into it, but that's fine. I think everything else is okay, mates. there's nothing bad happening. I've got to say, everything looks fine.
FTSE just showing signs of potential weakness, and even though I quite like the long on the day, the FTSE showing a bit too much weakness right now. So a very unclear picture from my end, and that makes for a little bit of a dangerous period. There's buy signals, but I think it might be wise at this stage to wait for sell signals that are a bit more concrete, because there's just a little bit of pressure coming into the market right now. So I'm sitting on the sidelines, mate, and I'm going to wait for the US Open and potentially look for the shorts. I won't be going long on the FTSE at this particular.
That's Angus.
Angus agrees with
Ellison's home, I'd say.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much, as always. Always a fantastic show with Shukri. And so thank you to him. Thank you to the guys in the room. Thank you to you, Jeff. Thank you to Angel, as always. We'll be back same trade time, same trade channel in the morning.
You betcha we will, and it will be happy hump day to all. So until then, again, thanks for your company. Thanks for being our trading buddies. Bye-bye. Oh.